Hey, it's Leia. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is the very first video you'll be seeing of me on the channel, but this is definitely not the first time I've been trying to film this video. Hopefully, you can get through this without cringing. By the way, my name is Leia. I am into freelancing, personal development, self-love, self-discovery, all that kind of stuff. So, if you are interested in any of those topics, give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. Hopefully, mas maging maayos na yung mga susunod kong videos if this doesn't turn out well. If you clicked on the title, then I know two things about you. One, you are questioning your situation right now. You are wondering whether you should quit your career or quit your job and start something anew. Or you are the second, where you are in a season of waiting siguro. You're waiting for something to happen, or you know that it's the world that's waiting on you to move. So in this video, I hope that you get some clarity about what is really going on within you, and I hope that it inspires you to take the next aligned action or the next aligned step for you to realize your desires. As the title mentions, I'm going to share with you why I quit my previous career, which is dentistry, to pursue freelancing. To give you a little bit of context and para hindi ka na rin mabore, I'm gonna break down my story into phases and stages of my life wherein I feel like I was becoming a different version of myself. Hopefully, this can help you in reflecting on your own journey and what stage you are in your life right now. So, mag-start tayo sa Golden Girl era ko. I call this the Golden Girl era because this describes my entire childhood and up until my adolescent years. I felt like I had to be the perfect role model. So, I was a very good girl, very well behaved, studied a lot, got all of the awards. I was top of the class. Magaling sa academics, magaling sa extracurricular activities. I had a lot of friends. I was very likable and very obedient. Very good girl. Typical good girl. And I really relied on external validation or external praise from others, from my peers, from my parents, from my teachers, from the people at church. I heavily measured my worth based on the achievements and the accomplishments that I would get and the praise that I would receive. I hated hearing negative feedback or criticism. Talagang dinidibdib ko yun. But I was also having a blast, actually. Learning things, exploring a lot of interests and passions. And I was a very curious kid, talaga, growing up. I loved to learn. Kaya siguro madali na lang sa akin yung parang to retain knowledge. Of course, during that time, I did everything just to impress others, at the same time, please my parents. Everything that I did was to receive that praise and receive that validation for myself. So I was the typical child who wanted everything to be perfect. Yung tipong pag may isang mali lang sa exam, iiyak na. Ganun ako. I was very obsessed with grades. I was very obsessed with status. And I wanted to be the most liked person, honestly. So of course, that continued up until my college years. I worked really hard to get good grades so that I could enter into one of the top universities in the Philippines. And ayun na nga, I chose a course that didn't really resonate with me, but I chose it, dentistry, kasi may title ako. So of course, people would address me as doctor, and that would, fuel pa rin yung sinasabi ko kanina na external validation that I needed so much. So much, diba? Siyempre, during that time, I thought I just wanted to please my parents, make them proud. Akala ko, gusto ko yung degree na yon, gusto kong matawag na doktor. So I guess that ends my Golden Girl era because now we enter into a new season of my life, which is my disillusioned dreamer phase. Bakit disillusioned dreamer? Because all my life, up until that point in college, I felt like I could conquer the world. Alam mo yung feeling na I can do anything as long as I put my mind into it. That was my mantra during that time. Pero when I got here and when I started studying here for college, sobrang na-realize ko I was so naive pala. And I got the biggest shock of my life. I was doing well for the first couple of years in college, especially the first 2 years. Sabi ko, uy, kaya ko pa to. Pero pagdating or pag-apa ko ng third third year college or in dentistry, yung first year proper, that's when all the major subjects are tackled. Grabe. From being so used to getting what I want, from being top of the class, from graduating salutatorian of my batch without so much effort, I almost failed all of my subjects. As in literal, lahat. I had to take removals. And yung mga subjects na yon, those were all majors. So if you failed one, madedelay ka na. Alam mo yon, madedelay ka na ng isang taon. That was such a huge blow to my ego. As in, sobra. I felt like I was the biggest failure. I was good for nothing. Kasi nga, di ba, I based my worth on my achievements during that time. So, yung mag-removals ako for all my subjects and I even failed one. So, I became delayed na for the next year. Sobra talagang devastating for me. And I got disillusioned. Like, sabi ko, oh my God, wala pala. Lahat ng pinaghirapan ko, it was nothing. I mean, lahat ng binild ko, it was nothing. Parang ganun na yung tingin ko sa buhay. But I'm also really grateful for it. Kasi syempre, it was a humbling moment for me. And it taught me that life is not going to be easy all the time. And sometimes you have to go through the hard things. And mas masarap yung reward pag ganon. So yon, that was my disillusioned dreamer phase. I lost all of my confidence in myself and I started being recluse, yung parang distant na ako sa mga tao because I was so embarrassed, diba? I was so humiliated and of course, I felt so ashamed. I felt so bad because I knew that I would be disappointing my parents. I remember going up to them and asking them na ayoko na ng dentistry, pwede na lang ba akong mag-shift? And during the time, I masked my pain in saying that I didn't like this, where in fact, I knew that I didn't like it because I was failing at it. I wasn't good at it. So, dapat hindi ko na siya gusto. Parang ganon. Pero, hindi ako pinayagan. We had an agreement that I would keep going. And so began a new phase of my life or a new version of myself, which I call the damsel in distress phase. Bakit damsel in distress? Kasi feeling ko talaga victim ako nung time na yon. I felt like a victim of circumstance. I kept blaming others for my misfortunes. So, of course, I blamed my university kung bakit ako bumagsak, diba? I blamed my parents because they didn't allow me to transfer earlier or to shift. I blamed dentistry because it was so hard. I had all of these excuses and I stayed in this mentality for so long. Umabot ako ng 11 years in dentistry, which is originally 6 years lang. And I didn't really own up to my mistakes and my shortcomings. I just waited na sana magbago naman yung ihip ng hangin. Pero wala. Instead of trying to figure out how to get out of that situation, I just stayed there and ayun, damsel in distress, alam mo yun, naghihintay ng magliligtas sa kanya. So, I graduated college naman, thankfully, after 11 years nga. Worked as a dentist for 3 clinics and na-enjoy ko naman yung talking to the patients, educating them, treating them, of course. At the back of my mind, I kept thinking, oh my God, I can't wait to leave this hellhole. I always kept complaining to my friends na I hate dentistry, ayoko na dito, pero at the same time, I wasn't doing anything naman to get out of it. I remember crying every night before I go to sleep kasi I felt so miserable talaga. And I even remember commuting to work nang umiiyak. And kahit nasa clinic ako, umiiyak ako kasi sabi ko, bakit nandito ako? Why are you doing this to me, universe? Like, all of these questions kept popping into my mind. Even if I had the desire to change my life, even if I had the desire to try something new, na-disillusion na ako diba? And at the same time, I felt like hindi na worth it. Hindi na yun worth it kasi wala na hindi perfect A student, diba? Rebelde na rin ako ng time na yun. So I also wasn't the perfect daughter or the perfect sister. I felt super unworthy to to change something in my life. And then the pandemic came, and this is where I decided I needed to become a different version of myself na. I got tired of playing the victim. I got tired of complaining, feeling miserable, feeling helpless. Na parang, oh, who's gonna save me? I realized that there was no one who was going to save me. If there was someone who was gonna do it, it was me, myself. I'm really thankful that the pandemic happened, even though I know it left a lot of painful memories and painful scars. But it gave me that permission to take a step back from my current life, to finally burst that bubble that I was keeping myself in, yung parang inflicting pain na on myself, like emotional pain, mental pain. Really look within myself and ask myself, what's really going on ba? It gave me that permission to feel talaga my pain and stop avoiding it. And ask myself then, what was it that I really liked to do, or what was it that I really desired? It forced me to look at all the past versions of myself. Yung golden girl era who thought she needed all of the titles, she needed the achievements, she needed all of the praise for her to feel worthy. Yung disillusioned dreamer who thought everything that she was gonna do was bound to fail and wala na siyang self-esteem, wala na siyang believe sa sarili niya. And yung damsel in distress who blamed everything and everyone except herself and kept waiting for someone to save her, or kept waiting for someone to get her out of that situation. I had to be that hero for all of them. My God! I realized that I had been looking everywhere for answers, when in fact, the only person I needed at the time was myself. And I finally allowed myself to be that person. Like, ako lang pala. Sometimes you go through life feeling like nothing is happening or nothing is making sense. But in reality, you are being forged by the fire. You are being shaped by your circumstances, by the people that you meet, by the experiences that you have, by the lessons that you learn. And your character is being refined all at the same time. And hindi mo lang siya nakikita at that moment. But you are getting better. You are becoming a better human being every single day. So there, the pandemic forced me to explore other options, explore other ways of getting income. Thankfully, I discovered freelancing. Wala lang, search lang sa YouTube, ganyan. And I found a great community of freelancers. And I just became more willing to learn, to fail, to take risks, to let go of all the judgment and the criticism, and to let go of the expectations that I had for myself. Remember all of those versions of myself, marami silang mga insecurities, marami silang mga hugot sa buhay. And I just decided that I was going to love them despite all of that. I decided na, okay, so takot kang mag-fail? Gawin natin, try natin. I'm here for you. And nakatulong talaga yan ng malaki. So yun, I know that this has become a different topic altogether. Basically, the reason why I quit my job before and started freelancing was because I wanted to take matters into my own hands. I wanted to create my own life, and I wanted to start living life on my own terms. So, ayun, if you want to know how I actually started freelancing, let me know in the comments. Sorry if I disappointed you with this. I guess I'll share it in the next videos. But I hope you learned something. Please like this video if you enjoyed seeing me cry. Subscribe for more iyakin moments. And yeah, I'll see you in my next videos. Bye!